So hi guys and welcome back to my Team Career Mode 2.0 Season 2, and here we are for the USGP. And obviously guys, it was an amazing race last time out in Singapore. We had an amazing race with Yuki Tsunoda got P2, took P1, and we had a really amazing fight. And because of that, after the second pit stop we did, it was a little bit worse for us. We only got P6 and Jack Crawford because of us got P9, so we had a double points finish. And obviously guys, we could have gotten much better in the points, but obviously guys, we had 5 seconds pit stop. Obviously the first one was under a safety car, so it didn't really hurt that much, but the second one hurt us so much that we lost around 2 to 3 places, so even a podium was taken away from us. But let's just see what Carlos Sainz has to offer for us, and it is 3.57 million and 32 million is the salary Carlos Sainz is asking for. Obviously that is a lot of money, but I think we can arrange that. So let's just see. We have some facility improvement, but first of all guys, we only have 1.6 million, so let's just go into the upgrades and let's just see. Okay, so look at that guys, Williams in P3, Mercedes in P2, but Aston Martin is the one who is the best team right now on the grid. They have the fastest car on the grid, but not the fastest driver. And because everyone is so close now, it gets a little difficult. Obviously guys, I think these drivers, or the Red Bull and the Mercedes team, had a little bit of an advantage at the start of the season, but that has already run its course, because we now are so close to each other that the driver matters so much more. Obviously guys, we do not have the tire wear upgrades that the other teams do. That's why it gets a little difficult for us to fight in top of the front part of the grid. But there we go, upgrading a very important thing that is going to help us decrease the research time. That is helpful. So let's just see another one. After upgrading, we have development and side profile has come in. That is good. And one of the tire wear upgrade has come in, the another one has failed. So we have to now go into the assign upgrades and let's see who we will give the upgrade to, and we have given it to Jack Crawford. Obviously last race Yuki Tsunoda was the one who we drove as, so we are going to be driving as Jack Crawford, and tire wear upgrade is going to help us. So we have some more money, and we have now upgraded another, which is advanced toolings, that is going to help us in development. The first one, 3D printing, was to help us in research. This will help us in development, so that is helpful. Let's just go into the race, and we have some unfitted part, and that is fuel efficiency. Let's just give it to Yuki Tsunoda. That will be helpful. And it looks like Aston Martin still is the one who leads in the racing index, but that is not going to help them win anything because we are really good. Let's just go drive as Jack Crawford in the USGP.
It's a United States love affair with Formula One at the moment, so what a thrill for everyone today to see our drivers lapping COTA at full hot lap speed. It's the Circuit of the Americas, and it's qualifying.
So here we are in the qualifying, the sprint qualifying, obviously taking it easy into the last corner. Obviously guys, a little difficult here we found, because obviously the first corner is so difficult to get it right, because obviously guys, you brake way too late, it gets a little bit difficult. If you brake way too early, you are on the grass, so that's why it gets a little difficult. The only corner that annoyed me in this whole race was turn 1, but obviously guys, I am going to be showing you a little bit of a montage in this race of how many types of way I took turn 1. But first of all, let's just see what we can do in the sprint qualifying SQ1. Let's just see through the final 2 corners, obviously using every bit of driver skills we can use. And here we go through the final corner, not taking it properly, but still we have enough race to the line, and we go P7 only in front of our teammate with a 136.0. That is a bad lap. So we have now waited for our lap and we are going to start another one. Obviously guys, we went around the track, did not went into the garage to do another one, but here we are with a 1 second gain into the final 2 corner. Let's see what we can do and going a little bit off the track. That is going to unsettle the car and take the time out 6 tenths, and through the last corner we have gained still 7 tenths, race to the line, and we go P8 behind Pepe Marty. That is crazy guys. Even Ayrton Senna only in P10, we were in P12, and Max Verstappen is in P1, and obviously our teammate is in P15. That is good. And Carlos Sainz out of Q1. That is amazing to see guys, because this means that this is going to help us sign Carlos Sainz better if they are not able to fight with the top part of the grid, because that is going to help us. But obviously guys, Williams are really good right now. They are the 3rd best car on the grid. So here let's just see with SQ2. Obviously rain is on the way. Well, it is already droplets of rain here and there. Let's just see what we can do. Obviously a little difficult we are finding right now to get grips on the car, and it is because guys, I forgot to do the practice session. So I am learning as I go on this track. That is why it's a little difficult for me to do anything. But let's just see, can we get ourselves through SQ2 and into SQ3 a P4 141. Though it was on a wet track, it was a little bit worse, and we got ourselves only in P11. That is not good guys. Even the Williams of Antonelli in P13, so that is good. Obviously we are trying to go for McLaren. We can't do anything right now guys. Let's just go for the sprint race.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside of the great city of Austin. This is a 3.6 mile lap with 20 corners, 10 to the left and 10 to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. An immense lap from Ayrton Senna yesterday puts him on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Callie Mayer and Norris, Hamilton, Webber, Gasly and Pepe Marty, Crawford, Albon, Andrea Kimi Antonelli and Hülkenberg, Piastri, Tsunoda, Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll, Bortoletto, Behrman, Doohan and Liam Lawson rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me for this afternoon's commentary, Naomi Schiff. Good afternoon, Gnomes. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Look, we know it's not where you start, it's where you finish, but let's talk about the start now. What's there to help the drivers get away well?
Well, the race is certainly not won in the first lap, let alone turn 1. However, what you can do is prepare yourself ahead of time. Visualize what could potentially happen, different scenarios and where you could place your car, and that will better prepare you to make the right decision with instinctive timing.
Right, mate, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but I want you to treat it like any other race. Let's not make any unnecessary risks, please.
Obviously, we will have to take some risks, guys, because we need to score some points. Obviously, a medium tire is what we are going to use. Obviously, last season we used a soft tire. It was very crazy. So let's just see with 4 or 5 lights. And we are going to go for the sprint race in the USGP with the Red Bulls in P1 and P2, Max Verstappen P3 going side by side Vishal Leclerc, Calimere is also there, and we into turn 1 trying to overtake all the cars, and we have done that. We are now into P6 with Jack Crawford and Mea. We are fighting with her and going side by side through the first races, and we have overtaken her, and we are now into P5. Let's see, we were P11 at the start, taking it easy. Pepper Marty, we were not getting a good exit, and here we went into turn 1, taking it in front and then trying to fight with Calimere, obviously, who was fighting with Leclerc. Obviously I stopped using the battery, but I saw that we are catching up to Calimere, so we used the battery, took the advantage, and we went through in front of Calimere, obviously going wide on the track, way too wide, and Calimere tried to come back, but obviously guys, we had the pace, and let's just see what happens here. Obviously because of that, now Hamilton and Calimere are fighting with each other. Obviously guys, as I told you, I did not do any practice in the practice session. I mistakenly practiced the whole session. That cost us a little bit, but here let's see Hamilton and Calimere fighting, and Hamilton has overtaken Calimere. That is going to give us some breathing space, guys, because we are the 5th best car. Catching up to the top front is difficult, and there goes Russell and Max Verstappen still fighting with each other. Look at that, and Russell has overtaken Max Verstappen, and guys, obviously it makes sense because these guys are in the best of the cars and they are the best of the drivers. So here, obviously guys, we have some engine problems right now, but obviously it's just the turbocharger, and here we are, look at that, almost getting a penalty because almost 4 tires off the track, but obviously we did not get it, so that is a good news. So here we are, lap 3, Calimere behind us. She now will get the chance to overtake us, but obviously guys, we have saved the battery for the whole lap, last one, so we will be using every bit of battery, and here comes Calimere through the outside. Obviously guys, we can brake late here, pushes her wide a little bit, but she obviously backed off a little early, so it doesn't hurt us, and we have stayed in front. Obviously we are right now catching up to the top 4, which is honestly amazing to see, but guys, the medium tires are not going to last long for us, and then it gets difficult. But first of all, right now catching up to the top 4 is a good news, because if we can do that, we will get the DRS. That will be helpful. Obviously going way too wide out of the final corner, well, final 2 corner, and here we are through the final corner, race to the line, and we are P5 with 1.3 seconds is what we had, and there is Charles Leclerc trying to catch up to Max Verstappen, and there goes Calimere trying to fight with us, but we have the braking and we go in front of her. Obviously she still have the grip, but we are a little bit wider onto the track. That means we will get a much better exit, and because of that we have stayed in front, and obviously guys, we are trying to catch up to them, but on lap 6 nothing happened for us. But here is Ayrton Senna, who is leading the race by 4 seconds, but Max Verstappen and George Russell fighting with each other, and George Russell going wide, and there is Max Verstappen still going side by side through the S's, and there is Charles Leclerc behind, but George Russell has finally overtaken Max Verstappen, and there her teammate goes. Calimere tried to overtake us, but we have overtaken her back. Obviously guys, we have defended amazingly, but now it gets a little difficult. We are losing the grip. Obviously the first part of the grip on these tires, which is amazing, has been worn, so now it gets a little difficult, obviously, and the lack of practice gets annoying, guys, because we do not know where to find the speed, the extra speed you find, and obviously it gets a little difficult, but obviously we can do something. So lap 7 again, Hamilton, Gasly, and these guys are fighting with each other, and here we go around the outside of Hamilton. Hamilton tried to do something, but obviously it does not work, and Calimere into P8 obviously will try to overtake us, and look at that, guys, we are putting so much load on these tires that these tires are getting a little bit spinny here and there, but we are keeping it a little bit through. So 3 laps to go. We can definitely defend this position, obviously, guys, but it is getting a little difficult because the guys behind us, like Hamilton and Calimere, they are just getting faster and faster, and we are getting slower. But for the 3 laps, we were able to defend the position very amazingly. So on the last lap, Hamilton could not do anything, obviously, guys. The practice helped, the 9 laps practice helped us, and we are now much better on this track, and we will keep on fighting. And look at that, guys, Hamilton is just behind us. Obviously he is just looking for anywhere to attack us. Obviously we are not going to give him any chance because we have the pace, we have the battery, and obviously 52% tire is not that bad. But here is Ayrton Senna, who started in P1 and ended his race into P1 with 4 seconds to George Russell and Max Verstappen, who was in P3, and Charles Leclerc into P4. And here we are just in front of Lewis Hamilton. Obviously guys, amazing race. We did not even have to do too much here, but obviously it was a little difficult on lap 5 to 6, and after that I got used to the extra tire wear, and we through the last corner there Hamilton tried to do something, but obviously guys the door will be closed there. And here we go from P11 to P6. What an amazing race. And we are now into P5. Sorry, that was my bad. We are P5, and we score some crucial points for the team, obviously, because both the McLarens were behind us and they did not score any points. So we are catching up to the McLarens, who are 60 points in front of us. Obviously 4 points only, but we are doing something. So Ayrton Senna obviously won the race. We were 20 seconds behind the top 4 obviously at the end, but obviously it was because guys I had to slow down very much. But what an amazing race, guys. Let's just go into the qualifying.
It's a United States love affair with Formula One at the moment, so what a thrill for everyone today to see our drivers lapping COTA at full hot lap speed. It's the Circuit of the Americas, and it's qualifying.
So here we are in the qualifying for the main race. Now we have some more practice, so we will definitely get ourselves into Q3. And here, look at that, guys, turn 1. I went on the grass in turn 1. That's how difficult it is right now for me to get turn 1, because there is no reference point for me to know when to turn. Well, the braking isn't the problem, it's the turning that is the problem. But here, let's just see, with the second sector purple, we are through in the final 2 corners with a little bit too much battery through the last corner. Here we are not getting it better, but here race to the line, we go P4, Antonelli P3, Albon P5. We might have to go out again, and obviously guys I definitely did go out again, but it was a very slow lap. I do not know what happened, and we just was going and going. Obviously 2/10, it looks like that we might be able to get something, but we just went downhill after the second sector, because obviously guys this was on a used set of tires. It just did not work out for us, and I thought, you know what, let's just go back. And luckily we were in P14, but our teammate Yuki Tsunoda only in P18. Guys, we are the 5th best car on the grid. We are not this low. I do not understand how these guys are not able to get out of Q3. Well, sorry, Q1, not even Q3. It's getting a little annoying for me, but obviously guys we can't do anything right now about it. We have to solve this issue after the race is finished for the next race. So let's just see into Q2 on a new set of tires. Obviously guys, trying to get into Q3 with only 1 lap, that is obviously always helpful. Let's see obviously what we can do through the final part of the first sector. We have a green sector going a little bit wide, but obviously we have the pace, we can definitely do it. So a purple second sector, because obviously the second sector is mostly just straights. So let's just see what we can do with Ayrton Senna, who just went 134.0. So can we get ourselves into 133, which is honestly really difficult to do, but Carlos Sainz did. Carlos Sainz has done it. He is 133.8. let's see what we can do using all the battery. DRS, ERS open, and we go 134.005, and Carlos Sainz is the one who got himself into P1, but Lando Norris is out. That is big. Obviously Kimi Antonelli is out. That is honestly really big, and the good news for us is guys that these guys are finding it a little difficult, because obviously the thing is guys, that Williams are still within the reach of us. So Williams can attack us if they keep on doing what they are doing with Carlos Sainz, who is right now in P1. Well, he qualified Q2 into P1. So let's see what he can do into Q3. Obviously the first lap into Q3 on a used set of tires. We have someone who is fighting us in qualifying. I just never understood why these people do it, because we were in last. And let's just go on a new set of tires. Look at that, guys. Out of the final corner, we already are gaining through and everything into the first corner and through the exit. Look at that, 3.5 tenths gain. Amazing. So let's just see, obviously out of the S's of what we can do. With the first sector we gained 8 tenths using all the battery we have, and DRS open, ERS open. We need to get at least 1.5 second to do at least P3 to P4 is what we are hoping. And these guys did a 133.4 to 133.3, so we need to do something with 1.1 second gain. Let's see what we can do, obviously using every part of track this time. Let's see what we can do in the final sector, final corner, and we did not go wide into the penultimate corner and into the last corner. Better, much better this time. 1.5 seconds gain, almost 1.5 seconds gain. That is big, and we go P3. That is amazing. Obviously 1/10 behind Charles Leclerc, Ayrton Senna into P2. But where is Carlos Sainz? Only in P8. If he had done what he did in Q2, it wouldn't have mattered. So let's just go, guys, into the race.
Well, you don't need me to remind you that Formula One is now so beloved in the United States that we race here 3 times a year. But let's give respect to COTA, or the Circuit of the Americas, to give it its full name. This place laid the foundations for this moment and still remains the host of the US Grand Prix. It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside of the great city of Austin. This is a 3.6-mile lap with 20 corners, 10 to the left and 10 to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Ayrton Senna completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Crawford, Mayer, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Sainz, Piastri, Webber, and Ollie Behrman, Norris, Antonelli, Pierre Gasly, and Verstappen, Bortoletto, Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, and Pepe Marti, Doohan, Albon, Stroll, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me for this afternoon's commentary, Naomi Schiff. Good afternoon, Gnomes. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was. They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that there's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race. But I can tell you that pre-race rituals are a real thing. When I was in go-karting, I used to touch every wheel in a specific sequence before I got into the kart. And then I stepped up to cars and had a specific set of fireproof base layers just for race day. So watch the drivers when they're on the grid. Some may be sitting on the floor and isolating, others may be up to other things that they do. But these little things really help their minds get ready for the race.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Obviously, guys, we are into P3. What I'm going to do this time is again the same thing. Obviously, we are going to be taking P1 and then we are going to defend the whole race. And obviously, in the sprint race, I saw that I was actually gaining the fuel rather than losing it. So I went as low as I could. So let's just go for the USGP with 3, 4, 5 lights on. And here we go for the US main race, and Charles Leclerc leads Ayrton Senna into P2, and we are fighting with Calimere, but we through the inside of turn 1, taking it on Charles Leclerc, and we getting a little bit tangled up with him, but we have still stayed in P1, and we have taken it from P3 to P1. But here goes Russell with Calimere, still both of them were fighting, but Russell was able to overtake, and here we saw what he did. Amazing start for us. Obviously, the only thing that is worn out for us was our battery capacity. That doesn't hurt us at the start, and we were able to get ourselves into P1. Obviously, turn 1 still a little difficult for us, but we were able to get ourselves into P1. That is big, guys. That is big. Now the only thing we have to do is defend, and we are a king of defending with how crazy we go. Obviously, guys, we have learned that, well, I have learned that defending properly helps us so much more than defending roughly. So we are going to be doing as much fair defending as we can in this race. So here, look at that, guy. Charles Leclerc 5 tenths behind already. If we can do something, well, if we had an older DRS rule where we only have to push for 2 laps to get out of the DRS, and the DRS was detection point started in lap 3, that would have been helpful. But obviously it is now after lap 1 that the DRS is open. So here we are pushing as much as we can, going a little bit wide, and look at that 6 tenths still, using every bit of tires we can use. Charles Leclerc is still keeping us honest. We are using everything, obviously not using the battery too much though, guys, because we need the battery to defend after 2-3 laps, because that is how much I can push. Obviously, guys, the tire wear in USGP is a little bit better, but guys, my S's, the sector 1 is not really good for us. So first lap at the end of turn 1, but here is Senna, Charles Leclerc fighting with each other, and we are showing Russell's POV, and there goes Ayrton Senna still going side by side with Charles Leclerc, and that is going to help us because these guys fighting means I get a breathing space, and we are now a second in front of Charles Leclerc. Obviously that will help us with the purple first sector. 1.2 seconds gain, 1.3 now. That is amazing. But at the exit, Charles Leclerc has came back in. So this is where, well, turn 9 to turn 10, well, turn 8 to turn 10, sorry, is where we are losing time. That is annoying, but obviously we can do something about it afterwards. But obviously we are using all the battery we have, and we have stayed in front of these guys. But lap 5, guys, these guys, because they have much better pace than us and they are much better driver than us. Charles Leclerc, though in P5, Ayrton Senna and George Russell in the Red Bull has caught up to us, but we only have to defend till lap 13. We can definitely do that. Obviously it gets a little difficult, but here Ayrton Senna, look at that, he will still try to attack us, but we went a little bit wide, pushing Ayrton Senna a little bit in, and because of that he will not be able to get a good exit out of the corner, and we are now ourselves back into P1. But it gets difficult from here because with those 6 tenths, Ayrton Senna has the battery and he has the DRS. He will definitely attack us, and he comes out for it and he goes for it, but into the braking, guys. Only his front wing is what we can see because we still are better at braking than Ayrton Senna. So lap 7 again, on the very next lap, Ayrton Senna tried to attack us, but we, with his help, we have taken turn 1 very beautifully. That is, guys, what I was helping us, because these guys were fighting us. I was just taking them as a reference and then braking, and that is helping us getting a better turn 1. And look at that, as soon lap 8, as soon as no one attacked us, the turn 1 was so bad, and here Ayrton Senna again attacks us, and we have again gone on to the curb in turn 1. Obviously this time not taking in too much. Lap 10, and let's just see what Ayrton Senna this time do. Obviously he is a little bit behind, but let's see into the braking. Turn 1, and we have gone onto the grass through the inside of turn 1. This is what I'm saying, this is the little bit montage, guys, of how many different way I took turn 1. Obviously in qualifying, one of the laps I did, which was a second lap in Q1, which was bad, I went a little bit too wide in turn 1, but here goes Ayrton Senna trying to attack us, But obviously guys, we have enough, well, courage in ourselves to know that Ayrton Senna cannot attack us because we can break a little bit early than them. But this is the problem guys. Through the S's, Ayrton Senna tried to attack us, but Calimere took the opportunistic move and went through the inside of Ayrton Senna, and she is now into P2, and that gets a little difficult guys because Calimere is the only one who has overtaken me when I was going wild in defensive moves at the earlier start of the season. But here she comes for it, but we obviously know that we have much better braking than Calimere, and she was trying to move but we were still braking. Obviously that's why she wasn't able to go and do her turn properly, and because of that we have now get ourselves into P2. Obviously look at the guys, the tires, lap 11, the tires are done now, and we obviously, if you see the right hand side bottom, you can see on lap 13 the tire symbol has gone to red now, so we are in puncture region, and we are now definitely have to go through the inside of the of the main track because we are now going into the pits. Obviously guys, we will be followed by many of the drivers, but Ayrton Senna is not the one. And here we have, look at that guys, Mayer, Russell, Antonelli, these guys, all of them are coming into the pits, so that is a good news for us. Obviously Ayrton Senna though, that might get us a little bit, oh come on, that is annoying guys. I mean 5.4 pit stop. We were very well. We were holding on to Ayrton Senna with the skin of our teeth. That's how difficult it was to defend against Ayrton Senna. And now we get another 5.4 pit stops. And here we have, and that was who it was, and that was Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli, after pitting, had a big puff of smoke coming out of his car, and he is now out of the race, and that was the confirmation. Obviously guys, I am not stopping now. I am pushing 100% because we know next lap Ayrton Senna will be pitting, and obviously you saw that turn 12 taking the inside curve this time, that is helping us. But here lap 15 guys, we are using every bit of battery. Look at the cars that are coming in, and they have been through. And here we are in through the inside of turn 1 in front of Carlos Sainz, but I was almost we almost overtook Mark Webber there, but he was so slow into turn 1, we had to back out and went out of the track to save him. Otherwise we have we should have gone into the back of Webber if we had not went out of the side. So here we are guys into turn 11. Let's see what we can do through the inside of Mark Webber. Mark Webber did not even flinch. Well, he did a little bit, but it was not a big deal. So here we have the battery, not too much, but we have the DRS, and we will be making a big dive bomb into 12 guys, because I know with the fastest car on the grid Aston Martin is, these guys will run away if I do not overtake them quickly. And obviously we are right now P4 right now, and it's because guys Gabriel Bortoleto, our savior, who is in front of Ayrton Senna and Hamilton, who is still on those medium tires. That means Ayrton Senna has to overtake him and Hamilton too. So Ayrton Senna now goes through the outside. That's a weird choice, but here he goes and gets a much better exit, and because of that he will be able to overtake Bortoleto. But Bortoleto is not backing down, but after the grip Senna showed, well, Bortoleto had to back down, and here we are behind these guys, and because of that has helped us a lot. We have caught up, and look at that guys, this is the dirty air. I wasn't doing anything. I had 100% throttle, 100% through the right, and here we go through the inside of Hamilton, almost going into the back of him. But here Bortoleto is a cork in the bottle for Hamilton. We have to overtake him, otherwise he will run away too. Through the inside of both the cars into turn 1, and we have overtaken Hamilton, and we have overtaken Gabriel Bortoleto. Though we know Ayrton Senna is a pipe dream to overtake, we are now setting our sights to Ayrton Senna, because that is the goal guys. Because if I am not setting a goal in front of us, I just get back down from the cars in front. Obviously, I lose pace after I went on to defensive mode, so that is not something I want to do. And look at that, guys, lap 23 after a good old while. We are now into P2. Obviously, guys, Hamilton, well, these guys aren't able to fight us, and it's because, guys, I am, and here is Lance Stroll. Yep, that was Lance Stroll. That is a big puff of smoke again, and he is definitely retiring, and there is the confirmation. And guys, as I was saying, that these guys are very easy to, well, stay in front, because these guys aren't able to overtake me because I am able to push myself enough to get in front. But here, lap 24, the tires are, well, their first phase has gone, and we have a safety car. For the last 4 laps, we have a safety car, and that is going to help us. That is going to help us, guys. And let's see which driver caused the safety car, and it was Piastri. Nope, it was Pierre Gasly, and he went and got a little bit of a spin there, and because of that, Tsunoda almost went into the back of Lando Norris. So that's why I think they went and did a safety car, and because of that, at the end of lap 26, safety car is going to be in this lap. We need to get a really amazing start here. Out of the last corner, we need to do something. Ayrton Senna has gone away, and we out of the last corner, and that is going to cost us, because that will be a little difficult, guys. But we now have the battery to do something, and we are going to make a big dive bomb into turn 1. Look at that, how deep we went, and because of that, Ayrton Senna just brake a little bit early, switch back us very beautifully, and now he has taken P1 back. But guys, I am not stopping, because we on the next lap will have the DRS, so we can attack Ayrton Senna. And for 2 laps after the tires, which are now cooled down a little bit, and we can push on these tires much better. So here we are just closing up to Ayrton Senna. Look at that, time 12. We have caught up. We have used every bit of battery to stay in the DRS of Ayrton Senna, because next lap will be very close. But here we are very close. So can we go for it? And we have gone for it on Ayrton Senna with a little bit of a half move. We went into the back of Ayrton Senna, and we just crossed each other, and there is us. We have overtaken Ayrton Senna for the lead. Jack Crawford, American, who has now overtaken Ayrton Senna. Can he stay in front of him for the final lap? Now the DRS will be enabled, but obviously he will not get the DRS on this time. He will get it on the next time, on the second straight, or you can say on the back straight of this USGP. So we have to stay in front of Ayrton Senna, and I am telling you guys, we can definitely do it. So through the S's, obviously taking it a little bit easier this time, guys, but still pushing as much as I can, using all the grip we have. And there goes Ayrton Senna, because he has abundance of grip than our hard tires, which we only have 3 upgrades in the tire wear department. And obviously, guys, we have a little bit worse tire wear, but it still doesn't matter, because Ayrton Senna has been overtaken by Hamilton, because he pushed us wide a little bit. Because of that, now Hamilton is the one who will attack us, and we go way too defensive, because we know through the inside of turn 12 will be the way we will go. And we have stayed in front, and we have stayed in P1. That is big. And through the final corner, Jack Crawford will win the USGP with a little bit of celebration. And we have done it, guys. We have done it without any problem, and with the help of a safety car, we have won the
Nobody
USGP.
stood a chance. What a performance this has been. Victory for Jack Crawford.
And you can just see how much this means to the fans as well. The energy that they were giving the driver all day today. A race win at home feels like 10 race wins elsewhere.
Here comes your top 3 making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One.
Man, what an amazing race, guys. It was crazy. And honestly, guys, I am so happy that we got the win. Obviously, even if we did not get the win, we had the pace to, well, stay in front of P2. So that is big. Obviously, guys, last season was a little bit crazy, but this time we had the pace. Yuki wasn't able to score any points, but Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris wasn't able to do much. Only Oscar Piastri got P1. So we are catching up to the McLarens. Can we overtake them for P4 in the final 3 races? That is something we have to see. So here, let's just see. Obviously, we have to use all the damage allowance we got for Jack Crawford car, but that doesn't matter, guys, because our fan rating has finally gone to 5th. That is big. So guys, if you're enjoying these videos and us to catch up to McLaren, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one.